Good morning. Good morning. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well this morning. JTW here with another Xtrades FOMO live stream. So let's get to it. Before we get too far into things, though, just checking our stream health. Everything looks good there. I'm going to go ahead and get this shared with our friends in Discord. We're going to continue to kind of try to keep them in the loop as best we can. Let's go. There we go. Go live. All right. So you guys should see in the Xtrades Discord now my screen. You should hear me. Friends on YouTube obviously can hear and see me. So if you are here on the YouTube stream, please say hello in the chat. Would love to know who's here, who's watching. Any lurkers out there? So we just had some more data drop. As you can see, market moving nicely off that. Let's take a quick look at it from the 5-minute perspective here. Yeah, nice push. I think if it can clear over this, what's up? Wow, hash mesh crash test. I'm just gonna say crash test. What's up, Drew? What's up, crash test? Good to see you guys here. Thanks for joining. Thanks for saying hello. Good to see y'all. So let's see what our economic data has in store for us this morning. PPI month over month actual reading was 0.2%. Previous reading was 0.6. Consensus was 0.3. So that came in a little soft, a little light. That's great news from an inflation standpoint. Keeps hopes alive for rate cuts. So not surprised to see the market reacting positively to that so far. So that was the PPI month over month. Core PPI came in with the consensus lower than the previous, and then jobless claims, we also had that info come out this morning, came in slightly lower than the consensus. So kind of a double win here this morning, in that we had slightly lower jobless claims, so good economic data, but at the same time we also had softening inflation data. So sometimes that good news can be bad news. Scenario happens when we're talking about good economic data, if we're looking for the economy to slow down, so to help kind of tame inflation. But I think with the positive inflation reading coupled with a positive economic data point there as far as slightly lower jobless claims, I think that's a win-win. So bulls are jumping in and trying to push things to the upside here. No surprises there. We were right in a demand zone. So overall, good news. Let's see if that doesn't keep things moving to the upside here for us throughout the day today. From an ES perspective, I would say key levels to watch. Just giving things a second to load here. Yeah, I'd be watching. I was kind of looking at this also on the 5 minutes. So from an ES perspective, if we're going to continue to the upside, I'd really be watching this 52.12.50 level. So if you're going to be playing SPY or SPX today, I would certainly pay close attention to that level for continuation to the upside. We've got the 333 SMA there with some confluence at that level here on the 5-minute chart, and then on the 15-minute chart, that's right where the Neptune flag is topping out at. That's the key selling pressure there from a Neptune perspective. So again, kind of interesting double resistance scenario on 2 different time frames. So again, please make sure that you are paying attention to that level before loading up on longs or chasing this move for continuation to the upside, because again, there's a lot that could keep us down and potentially redirect this current move once we get up to 52.12. So keep an eye on it from there. So let's go through some trade plan recaps. Let me also get over to our live stream. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Red? What's up, Wayne? KD? Good morning, everybody. And as I said in the Discord, this is my last live stream as I guess technically as a bachelor. So next week I leave to go out of the country to get married. Going to be a good time. So just wanted to reiterate that there will be no live streams next week. And there won't be one on Tuesday, April the 23rd. I'll just be getting back and kind of getting myself back up to speed. So our next live stream after today will be Thursday, April 25th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, definitely cuffing season. What's up, Chris? Good to see you, buddy. All right, so let's get through some trade plan recaps. And then let's also, if you guys have any tickers that you want me to take a look at during the live stream this morning, start dropping those in our YouTube chat. Thank you, everybody, for the congrats. I truly do appreciate it. Just glad to be kind of getting away for a little bit and getting to decompress, but also very much looking to making this woman my wife. So let's jump in. Just getting that last little bit of coffee to fuel up for the morning to get to talking about this. So Microsoft, this one's kind of been a real, I don't know, thorn in my side, I guess, as far as trade plans go. I personally haven't bit on any of these moves that have played out to the upside or the downside. Honestly, I just haven't been trading much because I've got so much going on this week in anticipation of going out of the country and getting married. Those are kind of two big events to really kind of throw on top of each other, but I think the juice will be worth the squeeze, as they say, once it's all said and done. So personally, haven't been doing a whole lot this week, but you know, I still don't like to see my plans sort of get invalidated as far as getting what look like confirmed entries that get immediately reversed, but with stop out. So we've seen that a couple of times with Microsoft this week, and I'm not really totally sure, you know, what the deal has been with Microsoft so far. We did see finally a downside plan and price targets hit yesterday. Not surprised though. This has been a long-standing trend line on Microsoft here for a little while. We saw a few dips below, but it's a higher time frame trend line, so you know, these little closes below on small time frames don't really mean much as far as that trend line goes. That has kept things moving to the upside, and it does look like Microsoft is trying to make some bullish moves. However, we've seen some rejections at this next level up here at 427.57. So I would certainly say kind of hold until we can break through that 427.57 level. So kind of making an adjustment on the fly here to the member selected tickers plan. If you're going to try to catch Microsoft for upside, I'd really be looking at this 427.57 level. I think we also need to understandably adjust our stops to accommodate for that different entry. So if we were going to do that, yeah, this is about the level I was eyeballing on the smaller time frames, probably sitting right about here, 426.62. That would be my stop loss average down for that adjusted trade plan to the upside for Microsoft. So keep an eye on it. Other thing I would kind of make note of here on the hourly time frame, there's still key selling pressure and continued selling pressure just above that 427.57. Doesn't mean we can't fight through it. Eventually we will break through, but yeah, I would say certainly over that level, start adding, get a starter position going with your respecting your stop loss, and then look for those price targets from there. That's kind of how I would adjust this Microsoft plan. So let's take a look at AMD. This was another one, member selected tickers we've looked at a couple of times this week, and it's played out I think for downside multiple times, although this was an open below. Let me kind of make this easier to see. I realize I'm kind of squeezing everything together here. So we saw it open on PT2 from the member selected tickers plan, came up to the stop loss average down for puts, rejected, came back down to PT1. So again, you had an opportunity to play this plan out off of that rejection or this next confirmed break below down to PT1 there. We saw it play out for PT2 on Tuesday, so really kind of 2 days of being able to catch this one. We saw yesterday, again, open low down near our PT3 for calls, and then we saw it run up into this confluence 200, 333 SMA. You guys hear me talking about these moving averages constantly. I hope that you are starting to use them. We're going to see several examples of where things have rejected and made different moves that are happening off of these moving averages all the time, right? I talk about them constantly. Here we see again AMD rejecting that 200, 333 confluence right there, taking it all the way down through our trade plan price targets and then some. And here we see it trying to push back through those, testing PT1 here this morning. So again, if AMD can reclaim that 168.52, I wouldn't be surprised to see it make another run up for 169.56, or really kind of more attractive level to me is 170.03. But Again, small difference between those two price levels. We did see a rejection there, although I think that was based more on these SMAs than this actual price level. So keep that in mind as we look for AMD to potentially continue up with the market here this morning. Let me just check in on the chat. What's up, everybody? What's up, Brahminder? Brahminder? I used to be a Brahminder, but now I'm getting married. What's up, Strife? Good to see you, man. Yeah, better late than never. Jesse Bates, what's up? Unknown Reviews, good morning. Good to see you. All right, so NVIDIA was also from the member selected tickers. You heard me talking about the 333 200 SMA here a second ago. Well, here we see it again on this NVIDIA play out. We actually talked about being bearish and looking for downside on NVIDIA Tuesday morning during our live stream. This was using member selected tickers plan I did on Sunday. So gave you the plan Sunday. We talked about it. We prepped you for it going into the trading day on Tuesday. I hope you're ready to take action on this one because it played out beautifully. Broke below our put entry, and all three price targets hit within the morning. Didn't even take the whole trading day to get there. But look at where that rejection started, right? 333 SMA here on the 5-minute. The other interesting thing about this NVIDIA rejection, let's get back to it. Where did it go? Over here. There we go. 15-minute 200 SMA happened to also be there as a part of that rejection. So 200 and the 333 on two different time frames. Again, you don't even need the full Neptune trading system. You can put those moving averages on your chart with any, basic moving average indicator that you can load in TradingView. Look at these moving averages and keep them on watch. Now, clearly, we also had a confluence with the Neptune selling pressure, key selling pressure there. So really kind of a three-way confluence, right? 333 SMA, right there, perfect rejection off it on the 5-minute, on the 15-minute, 200 SMA, Neptune bear flag, breaking below our put entry. I mean, this was just there weren't more, we couldn't get more confirmation that this was a great setup for the downside. Gave you all a heads up on this one, so I certainly hope that you took action on it because it was a money printer. And now we see NVIDIA trying to break through all that. We got back to the bullish side of things, and now we're trying to reclaim again. You see it fighting with this 200 333 here, rejecting the 333. That was really the top the whole day yesterday on the 15-minute. Again, I hope you guys are using these moving averages. I can't encourage you enough to take a look at them. We see it trying to break through all that though here this morning. And NVIDIA, I would certainly just say let's go back to square one with these trade plans that we currently have set up for it. So these are in the options watch list in our Discord. They were posted Sunday evening for you guys. So just, go search the options watch list in our Discord for the NVIDIA trade plan posted Sunday evening. If you're looking to recycle or retread that one, I would say it looks like it's a good setup to do that. So it's right back in sort of our let's wait and see what happens range between 865.90 and 891.86. As always, I certainly recommend or encourage you all to repurpose these levels as you see fit because they tend to be useful in many different ways to create various opportunities. So Tuesday, we looked at Constellation Brands. This one had played out pretty much immediately to the downside. Shortly after open, we broke down below our put entry there at 265.15, back tested and rejected. And what else was there here on the 5-minute? 200 SMA. I know you guys are probably tired of hearing me talk about these, but you keep seeing these confluence setups with them. I mean, we've looked at, I think, 3 or 4 this morning, and, we're only 15 minutes into the live stream. So, pay attention to these indicators. Clearly, I would recommend getting something with like a full trading system like Neptune. But again, if that's not your approach to trading for whatever reason, that's fine. At the very least, it's totally free. You can find 100 indicators out there that would allow you to load them. Check out these moving averages. Keep them on your charts. They're useful on various different time frames. So again, seeing that breakdown below, back tested the put entry, 200 SMA confluence, Neptune saying short this thing. Really from the open, took us all the way down to PT2 plus and eventually down to PT3 plus going into the open of the following day before it just rocketed right back up into that confluence, right? Put entry level resistance right there, 200 333. It faked out, got a little bit above, but again, that's why we have support and resistance in place, just so we don't get too dependent on indicators by themselves. So then when you see that breakdown below, nice back test in there, it's might be hard to see because I was too far zoomed out, but break below, back test that 200 SMA with them both trending down overhead. Good opportunity to play that rejection, maybe catch some more money off this same trade plan off that. But again, Constellation Brands so far, downsides played out beautifully. Looks like if it can reclaim 265.15, that key, what was support, now resistance, if we can flip that back to support at 265.15, we should see it try to push higher from there. So keep an eye on it. Let's just check the 15-minute though, make sure we don't have major resistance, or maybe we have some confluence that says, hey, once we get that out of the way, we get a lot of stuff out of the way. You know what, looking at it from this perspective and knowing where Neptune and the 200 SMA are right there with that confluence, I'd say 266.01. Wait for that to break, then upside does look a little bit more attractive. You could use 265.15 as your stop loss. First target I'd say up there at 267.18. Guess what else is up there right now? 333 SMA here on the 15-minute chart. Clearly that will move, but right now we've got a confluence there, so keep that on watch as we go into, oh, actually it's, gosh, I forgot this is one that we were looking at on regular trading hours, which I think is appropriate because, again, it doesn't really have any volume. They just had earnings this morning. I should have double-checked that. But that being said, kind of still fighting around that, well, right up at that target that we would have been looking for. So, yeah, I'd wait for the call side to really play out, see what happens once we get into the regular trading hour session. But we're already up against this essentially and fighting with it as resistance. If you look at extended hours, we're at 267.99, so we're trying to hold just above that currently. Over 268.01, I think then things do start to look interesting for potential continuation to the upside. Maybe we get both sides of this trade plan to play out before the week's over. All right, Palantir was another one we looked at. We did this one during Tuesday's live stream. So far, consolidated below, stop loss average down. What else was it below? 333, 200 SMA. Again, just banging its head up against that 333. Ultimately, rejected it down. Did give us a pretty good confirmed break to the, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. It didn't because that was pre-market. And then we're right back above it. That could have been, I would have had to watch this play out in real time. That could have been a decent confirmed break there as far as looking at just price levels alone. Overall, though, still have that confluence overhead there at 2280. So Palantir below 2280 looks like it could still be bearish. Did flip some things back to the bullish side on Neptune yesterday. Let's just take a look at this on a different time frame, though, make sure there's not anything we're missing. Yeah, there's plenty of room before we get into heavy selling pressure, but there is selling pressure all the way up through there. 5-minute probably looks a little bit more bullish than the 15, I would think. Let's see. I don't know why TradingView is loading a little slow this morning, it seems like. Again, fighting with that 333, right? I mean, we're seeing it all over the place. I'm not going to talk about it anymore at this point. So yeah, over at 2280, it looks like it could try to make some moves. There's room to the upside over that on multiple time frames. So keep an eye on that as far as PLTR goes. And then Adobe, we did talk about this one. Again, what are we seeing? 333 SMA rejections all over the place. I hope you guys start using these moving averages. But we talked about this essentially being bullish. You know, I was essentially saying as long as 478.96 holds by the dip, you know, look for a scalp play. But ultimately, if it could get a good confirmed break to the upside, could try for 504.09. It did get a pretty good confirmed break right here. The only thing I would say that's a little bit sketchy about this, right, is both of these SMAs right here overhead trending to the downside would give me a little bit of pause on this one. We are rejecting the 200 as of the after hours session yesterday. Haven't seen it move much in response to this market move this morning, pre-market. But keep an eye on Adobe. Really kind of gets very interesting once it's back over 495.09. We did see a pre-market sort of a little phantom print rejection right off that same level, but Neptune sitting right there is really kind of what has me eyeballing that for potential breakout to the upside and continuation. So let's get to some new tickers. Let's do some trade plans with the time we got left this morning. I hope you guys have been doing well with those existing trade plans, and I hope these reviews and recaps have been helpful. Let's see, what was our first request in here from KD Meta Chart? Let's take a look at Meta. We can certainly do that. I haven't looked at Meta in a while. It would be good to circle back to that one. So, let's see where we are at with Meta. Good old Facebook. I wonder if they're going to ditch the Meta ticker name now that they're not even doing anything with the metaverse anymore, essentially. They've pivoted to AI. And, you know, rightfully so. Their stock started moving favorably after that announcement as well. All right, so this is one that has good price action during the pre-market and extended hours trading sessions. Clearly, I'm operating solely up in these levels, I think, off of fib extensions. I haven't really put much in the way of support and resistance since I did these fib extensions. I don't know, back in January of this year, it looks like. Let's hide these, though, so they don't get in our way. But I like to leave them there just in case I want to go back and see when I drew a set of extensions. Trade plan, long short tools, we don't need that. All right, let's see if we can't start to find some support and resistance levels up here. Just for now, I'm going to turn off these indicators. I want to focus on nothing but price action for the time being. Yeah, not a lot to work with, which isn't surprising. There hasn't been a ton of price action up in this range here on the weekly chart. This could be a weekly level developing. It's not there yet, but it's trying to be there. So that one I'm going to use a slightly different color than my regular weekly levels, but it looks like it's trying to develop a weekly support resistance there. Not totally there yet, though. All right. Yeah, like I said, probably not a lot that we're going to find on that weekly chart because Meta just hasn't been up here long enough to do that, to develop these levels. Daily chart, this is an interesting level. We'll want to keep on watch. Let's also see if any of these fib extensions have turned into support resistance levels. This one's showing good support on it. I mean, not bad for the level I drew in January that had never been tested until recently. But I'm just not seeing a ton on both sides of it, just mostly support. So we'll let that one kind of just hang out. Again, this is another one that looks like it's trying to develop, but not there yet. Keep an eye on it. All right, let's keep on keeping on. Like I said, lots of support on that guy. Got that one. Anything else that really sticks out? This is a somewhat interesting level. And again, given the minimal amount of price action we have up in this range, I'd say that's probably as good as it's going to get for now. This is an interesting level, close to having a good rejection there. Almost close enough. I might change that level a little bit as far. All right, so yeah, I think that's going to do it for the daily chart. I think we're also going to need some new fib extensions, so we'll get a chance to kind of talk about those here in just a second. Interesting potential level here. Actually, I should change that and keep that on watch. I don't want to really lock that in just yet. Yeah, definitely got pretty good 4-hour level in here. Yeah, this is a level of interest. And yeah, we're not going to have a ton. I like this. A little bit of a challenge this morning for my last live stream for a couple weeks. because we don't have a ton of price action up here. We are definitely going to need some fib extensions. Let's take a quick look at this. I think what we're looking at, yeah, this is the higher, slightly higher of the two highs. Although, what is that? Is that an 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock candle? Hang on, I just want to take a quick look at something where this, okay, that is during, right at the beginning of the cash session. Okay, so slightly higher high up there than this previous high. So this is how we're going to do our trend-based fib extensions. Let me zoom back out real quick. I just wanted to confirm that on the smaller time frame. So we're going to start from really kind of, I think, what kicked us to the upside here. Now let's find some confluences. I think we're probably looking at one right here, which will establish a level I don't have yet, but I think that that's pretty solid. Not as close as I thought it was going to be, actually. Take that back. Do this one more time. Sorry. Thought that was going to catch things a little cleaner. Decent confluence there. Wonder if it's, yeah, could also be playing off that. Just that spot a level that I didn't have is the question. Yeah, I think it's really, yeah, I think we're based right off here. Maybe my level, or again, being a fib extension, it's not going to be dead on accurate. Very close, and again, my daily level right here could also be a little bit off, but I think that puts us, yeah, that puts us in pretty good shape right there. All right, so let's check our other, let's go ahead and map these out actually. Potential levels here that we will need. Kind of interesting that we have essentially a confluence there with an old set and this more recent set that we're drawing right now. Fib extensions. All right, so let's get our indicators on. That's enough. I mean, there's more fib extensions to the upside, but that's enough for us to, I think, finish putting together this trade plan. So, how do I want to approach this? This is an interesting level that we are testing here pre-market. I don't want to be too aggressive though. I think what I would look for is a break over this 526.01 level. That's about as aggressive as I'd want to be with this. We do have an hourly level right here that we are testing pre-market. I think that serves us better as a stop loss average down after waiting for some more confirmation that upside is going to open up. So I think that that's the appropriate way to approach this. Also gives us some established levels to use to at least to get things started. Then we're looking for this all-time high test right here, 511.18 first price target. And then we just have to play the fib extensions, I think, from there. I mean, you could shoot for the 0.618 as your third price target, but I wouldn't get greedy, especially with kind of some of the mixed messages that we're getting in the market right now when it comes to inflation and potential rate cuts and all that. I would just urge folks to take profits early and often for the time being. All right, downside, I think we're looking for a break back below. I like this for a trade back below this 513.41. I think that also gives us a good stop loss at this pre-market support, 517.13 4-hour level. I think that clearly gives us a first price target where we already have a price target from a prior trade plan right here at 506.68. Again, a fib extension drawn back in January. I think that they're just now testing and getting really nice reactions to, actually. That one I am going to pat myself on the back for. Second price target, though, I think really is one level lower. I think we're looking at this 499.57 level. Second price target. Third price target, yeah, I say we shoot for this 494.29. So these are the upside and downside trade plans for Meta, Facebook, whatever you want to call it. All right. Yeah, I like those. So here's what we're looking at. Whoops, copy link. Keep forgetting we can't paste images. All right, so here is the Meta trade plan as we head into the trading day today. Let me also post this in the watch lists over in the Discord. Trading plan. All right, so what are we looking for here on Meta? We're looking for a break above 526.01 to try to catch this for some more upside. That should give us targets at 531.18, 538.06, and then 543.80 with a stop loss average down at 522.50. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 513.41. That should give us targets at 506.63. Right? Nope, sorry, 68. I have my mouse over that. 499.57 and then 494.29 with a stop loss average down at 517.13. Those are your Meta trade plans. All right. Reminder, we talked about NVIDIA as I'm going through the chat there. I'm going through the ticker requests. Again, I would definitely say keep this existing plan on watch. I think it could be totally recycled, retreaded from here. So if you are in our Discord, please go back to the options watch list. I do spell out the whole plan in the post that I did for it Sunday, but I'll just repost in here the plans the plans for this particular chart. So that should give you the levels to work with. So I think we've covered that. I don't think there's a new plan to develop yet. I really like how these levels have played out, and we haven't seen the upside of this plan play out yet. So that's still a good possibility. Again, you could look for a potential early entry here. I would say, yeah, I mean, you could take a shot at getting in early over 883.11. Again, I think the better confirmations over 891.86 is trying to build a base here on this stop loss average down after flipping it to support here pre-market. So it does look like it's trying to kind of flip the script. We said Tuesday we were bearish on NVIDIA. That played out perfectly today. I'd say it's starting to look like it could try to make a little bit of a run. Could be a bullish day for NVIDIA, especially as long as it holds over 865.90. Below that, my bullish expectations become less bullish, I guess, at that point. Jesse, we also covered AMD this morning. If you want me to go back and talk about that one again, we can. I think ultimately a break over this 168.52 level could bring us back up to 170.03, and then the stop loss average down from the member selected tickers plan up here at 171.48. So again, I'll post this chart with the levels for you. So hopefully that's helpful. Paste. We did talk about these two this morning already, though, so I want to kind of get through and get to some new ones up. Here we go. Chris with the Baba. Let's see. Chris loves to find some good tickers for me to chart and plan out. Okay, again, I talk about this every time we look at Baba, but I'm going to mention it one last time. Always got to be careful swinging these guys because they these Chinese tickers because they make big moves while we are totally asleep here in the US as far as the markets go. As you can see, big gap up, pretty decent gap up. That big gap up really sold off and closed instantly. So let's see where this maybe goes from here. Looks like there's an old gap level resistance that it's testing here at 75.80. So the question is, over 75.80, what kind of moves can it make? Let's hide the indicators just for a moment. Looks like there's still, yeah, there's still a gap to fill, at least as far as how our chart is going to look for it. Again, you have to be a little bit careful with these gap levels too, because again, I just feel like they're going to be treated differently than a gap on a US ticker where we're seeing most of the price action. With these ones, we're seeing only a sliver of the price action. It's an interesting level though. All right. So let's see, we're testing the 75.34 pre-market. Let me zoom out on this a little bit more. I just want to get a bigger, better picture perspective here for just a sec. Make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success, at least as best we can. Yeah, that's an interesting level there. Hourly. This is also an interesting rejection that got triggered, kind of lower highs after that. Yeah, this was a gap level multiple times, it looks like. It's a little bit off right about here. Closed currently. All right, so what is that? What does that do for us? How does that help us becomes the question. This level could be a little bit higher, looking at it dialed in here. All right, so I'm really sorry, arguing with myself in my inner monologue about this one. But I say over 75.80. Gotta make a call, right? Can't get paralysis by analysis. That doesn't help us. I think over that 75.80. Again, I'm a little bit worried about this 76.19 gap fill right there. So let's do this. Actually, make a slight adjustment to it. It's not that big of a difference anyway, as far as potential entry on BABA. I'm going to stick with my gut on this that says give it a little bit more time before considering it confirmed for more upside. So over that, be looking for a test of this 77 level. Stop loss average down, I think at 75.34 is appropriate. Yeah, I think it could still hold and push higher as long as that level holds. So very close to being just a straight up one-to-one risk reward on this. So keep that in mind. I would say start small, average up and into the trade on this one. Over 77.67, which would be my next target. That's some wild price action. How do you make heads or tails out of that? Look at a smaller time frame, see what those candles are doing inside that chaos. Let's see. That's still pretty chaotic. Yeah, I'd be taking a shot at this 78, 88 level. I mean, I think it's worth taking a crack at it. And again, these Chinese tickers just a little harder to predict, a little harder to plan. Be very careful with swings, gap up, gap down. It's like an everyday occurrence for these. So you just gotta, if you're gonna swing, cross your fingers and pray that the gap goes in your direction, that the technical analysis holds overnight once the Chinese markets start trading. All right. To the downside, this is an interesting little opportunity here, though, where we could share a stop loss, which I do like. Gives us a first price target right there at 383 below that. 74.67 entry below that. I think this level might be a little high. Again, yeah, I think that looks better right there. 73.25 at that weekly level. And again, this level looks like it might need a small adjustment to, yeah, right there looks a little cleaner across the board. Let's use that PT3. So this is what the plans look like. Potential big move over PT2 to the upside. But before I go saying we're done here, let's make sure, yeah, like that confluence here on the 15-minute as far as that will break down some key support. Seeing kind of similar there for downside. Overall Neptune leaning, showing a little bit bullish, although 200 SMA below the 333 still, it is a lagging indicator trying to curl up and get back over it. That would be a bullish crossover. But I think we've got our plans in place, so let's put these together. I think we're good to go. Again, on this upside plan, just be careful. Start small, buy plenty of time if you're planning on doing any kind of swings. I personally prefer day trades on tickers like BABA. It's just me. All right, so here are your BABA trade plans. Neptune 3.1 looks similar to Ichimoku clouds. I've never really used Ichimoku or compared it to Ichimoku, Ken. It's certainly not based on Ichimoku. It's really more of a dynamic support resistance based on some custom moving averages sort of a setup, and then kind of a trend momentum ribbon in there. It's got a lot of components to it. I've never really used or looked at Ichimoku, though. I'll definitely take a look at them and see how it stacks up, but it's just not based in Ichimoku at all, for what it's worth. Let's take a look at this BABA trade plan, and then I think we're going to wrap it up for my last live stream as a bachelor. So over 76.19, we're looking to play BABA for more upside and continuation up to 77 at our first price target, 77.67 second price target, 78.88 third price target, 75.34 stop loss average down level. To the downside, we're looking for a break below, what is that, 74.67, I believe. Yep, 74.67. That should give us a first target at 73.83 for more downside. Then on to 73.25 and then 72.49 third price target with a stop loss average down shared with the upside trade plan there at 75.34. Those are your BABA trade plans. Actually, let me put this in the BABA live stream plan. Almost forgot to put it in the Discord. Oops. Also forgot to mention everyone. All right, so with that, we are 15 minutes from market open. I do want to thank you guys for joining me as always here on the FOMO live stream. I do appreciate y'all coming here early to get ready for your trading day. I think ultimately we find some fantastic opportunities and make a lot of money together when we work on these trade plans and get ready for the day. As we always say, plan your trades, trade your plans, right? So with that, I just want to put out one final reminder. This will be the last live stream until April 25th. I am out of town, out of the country, out of pocket, starting next Tuesday until I get back on the 23rd. But I'm going to need a day to kind of catch up and, figure out what the market has done while I've been away. So I don't want to jump right into a live stream while I'm still trying to get my bearings about me. So again, we will be back April 25th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for joining me and for being loyal followers of this FOMO live stream. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure that you are subscribing to the Xtrades YouTube channel. Again, starting in May, we are going to limit the chat to subscribers only, totally free to subscribe to the Xtrades YouTube channel. So, what are you waiting for, right? Just get it done. Go ahead and subscribe. That way, when we do start to limit the chat activity, you won't run into any issues. So again, thank you guys so much. I can't say that enough. As we always say here on the FOMO live stream, plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there and get some green. I will see you guys in the chats here for the next few days, and I will be back April 25th as a married man for the FOMO live streams. All right, thank you guys so much. I again, can't say that enough. You guys have a fantastic day. I look forward to talking to you guys when I get back in late April. Have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you guys soon.